Imagine this. You're on a plane in flight and you notice the aircraft is leaking fuel. That's exactly what happened to one passenger who decided to take action. Brian Todd is here in the Situation Room. He's been working this story. It's a pretty amazing story, Brian.
It certainly is, Wolf. We spoke with this passenger today from Japan. He makes it clear he is not some hero who saved more than 300 people, but he is a good Samaritan who worked with the flight crew to address an alarming situation. You're looking at a serious problem at 30,000 feet. Jet fuel spraying out the wing of a huge passenger jet. Not a standard fuel dump. This is a big leak. It happened on a flight from Chicago to Tokyo last month. More than 300 people on board. A concerned passenger named Bartek Bakleda took this video and took action. First trying to alert a flight attendant.
When I initially hit the call button, she thought maybe I wanted something, and she said, "Sir, we're handing out drinks. I'll be right back with you."
He waited, realized this wasn't going to stop on its own, and got her attention again. This time, he says,
she took me very seriously. She listened to what I had to say. She took the camera, and she proceeded to go up front. And within minutes, I believe I think it was the first officer or the captain came down.
After the pilot surveyed the leak, he made a left turn somewhere over either the north central U.S. or Canada and headed for San Francisco, where the plane landed safely. Bakleda calculated they were losing about 6,000 pounds of fuel an hour.
I decided to, hey, if the captain does not know this before we go oceanic, meaning once we fly over the ocean, that we're leaking and losing a massive amount of fuel, this is going to be a bad day.
How'd he know all this? Bartek Bakleda happens to be an Air Force staff sergeant stationed at Kadena Air Base in Japan. He also happens to be a refueling specialist. Bakleda was reluctant to name the airline in question, but we were able to independently verify that it was a United Airlines flight. Contacted by CNN, a United spokesman issued a statement saying our captain was aware of the situation, and he told us the crew would have identified the problem and gotten the plane to safety in any event. Could this plane have run out of fuel? Well, let's look at the flight path. From Chicago to Tokyo, it's over 6,000 miles. Now, United tells us this plane was a 747-400, which holds about 372,000 pounds of fuel. Now, if it leaked 6,000 pounds of fuel an hour, as Bakleda says it did, it would have lost only about 20% of its entire fuel capacity over the entire nearly 13-hour flight. Now, a former NTSB official tells us the plane still probably would have had to divert because they have to have enough extra fuel to be able to divert anywhere in the Pacific region, which it could conceivably cover great distances, or it has to have enough fuel to circle at its destination. But United says this was never an issue because the pilot was aware they were losing fuel, and there's no way this plane would have continued over the Pacific. Wolf.
Could the pilot actually have seen the leak with the naked eye from the cockpit?
Bakleda says he might not have been able to in some stretches because he says he was looking at it right over the wing, and he says there were some stretches, even though the leak was continuous, where you could not see it from the naked eye, like when they were climbing through clouds. It would disappear and then it would reappear. So the pilot may not have been able to see it, but he probably had it in his gauges in the cockpit.
Brian Todd, thanks very much.